he could be a 3-division world champion for the first time. And it's, look, Tom Aspinall is a large obstacle.
That's a big
That's a giant man that is never going to make middleweight, never going to make light heavyweight. That is a true heavyweight.
Tom Aspinall couldn't make 225.
No. He's huge. Yeah.
Joe Rogan has reacted to the damage Alex Pereira suffered following his fight with Ciryl Gane at the UFC White House card. And while the images coming out after the event have become a major talking point throughout the MMA world, the injuries are only one part of a much bigger story. Because if we're being honest, very few people expected the fight to play out the way it did. Coming into the event, there were plenty of fans who believed Pereira's power would eventually be the deciding factor. After all, this is a man who has built his reputation on changing fights with a single shot and making elite opponents pay for the smallest mistake.
The whole internet is going crazy saying they were the back of the head. I'm like, no, they're not. When you have the rules meeting, this is what happens, okay? They come in and they explain, they put their hand over this area here. That little area there that you can make with your fist, it's called the nape of the neck.
You focus on the nape of the neck, and that's really what the rules should be called.
Let me just get the official wording. The nape of the neck is the back of the neck located at the base of the skull where the hairline meets the neck. This is legal. This is legal. That is legal. Right at the base of the skull, that is illegal.
Why is the guy who's getting fouled the victim on both sides, on the losing end and on the side where you can't do anything about it in terms of getting it reversed? It's just 100%. It's unfortunate. Ciryl Gane's one of those guys, you can't afford to get hurt with him because you don't know what you're going to get hit with. you don't know what that dude's going to hit you with. Elbows, eye pokes, hammer fists. Hey.
In that sequence, Herb Dean was just starts counting the illegal strikes. Hey, illegal. By the time the third illegal comes up, you have to be like, okay, dude, stop, reset. I know he's hurt. I don't care. You cannot try to finish the fight with strictly illegal blows. It's just very frustrating as a fan to watch, man. I'm like, dude, you already had him hurt. You have him on ice skates. Can't we just do this the right way?
Did you watch that clip with Adrian Broner and Arman Saryukian? When he's showing him, he's like,
yo,
back in the head. Bow, back in the head.
First of all, okay, the UFC thing, with Alex Pereira, man, you should never, ever, ever elbow somebody in the back of the head like that. I don't care what anybody says. The referee should get definitely some type of punishment for allowing that to happen.
The expectation from many people was that if Gane spent too much time exchanging with him, sooner or later Pereira would find the opening he needed. Instead, Ciryl Gane delivered the type of performance that reminded everyone why he's remained one of the most technically gifted heavyweights in the sport for so many years. What made the performance so impressive wasn't simply the result, it was the way Gane managed the fight. Rather than giving Pereira the type of exchanges he wanted, Gane constantly used movement, range management and intelligent shot selection to force Pereira into uncomfortable situations. As the rounds progressed, it became increasingly clear that this wasn't turning into a kickboxing match. It was turning into a heavyweight MMA fight being fought on Gane's terms. That's where things started getting interesting. Because while some fans were shocked by the outcome, others immediately pointed out that the warning signs had been there all along. For months, there had been discussions about how Pereira would deal with a naturally larger heavyweight who possessed elite footwork and movement. There were questions about whether his power would carry over against someone as mobile and technically sound as Gane. And there were questions about how he would handle being forced to fight at a pace and range that wasn't ideal for him. After watching what happened, many people feel those concerns were justified.
I hate Ciryl Gane's back of the head shots. I thought the fight before the fouls was like a clean performance from Ciryl. Then Gane just sees the back of his head and no joke, elbows and punches it 12 times over and then finishes him up against the cage.
You know what's funny? In the rules meeting when Pereira was talking to the ref, they were having the translator go over like back of the head.
And then last thing I want to ask you about the co-main event, Ciryl, obviously amazing performance. He comes out and says, man, give me that rematch with Tom Aspinall. We need to get that done. Obviously, we're not going to make fights tonight. But is there anything standing in the way of you making that fight right now? Do you feel comfortable that's a fight you can make happen?
I'm not even thinking about that right now. Yeah, Ciryl Gane, listen, it's hard to move up 3 weight classes in MMA, and especially in the UFC. And Ciryl looked great tonight. The guy, we always say, he's a heavyweight that moves like a middleweight, and he definitely looked like one tonight. We'll get back. I'm going to let my people have some time off, this week, and then we'll get back at it and we'll figure out what's next.
The visible damage to Pereira's face only added to that conversation because it served as a reminder of just how competitive and physically demanding the fight had become. Fans aren't used to seeing Pereira look vulnerable. They're not used to seeing him leave a fight carrying that kind of visible damage. That's one of the reasons the reaction has been so strong, because for many people, this felt like the first time in a long time that Pereira looked human. What's fascinating is what this means moving forward. For Gane, the victory may have completely changed his position within the division. Not only did he defeat one of the biggest names in combat sports, but he did it in a way that forced people to completely reassess how dangerous he really is. Suddenly, the conversations surrounding his future aren't centered around what he can't do. They're centered around what he might achieve next.
What can we expect from you in this rematch with Tom Aspinall?
I don't know. I can't predict the future, so we will see. But the thing who is really sure is now we know how to prepare myself really good, really hard with my team. We know everything. I know myself like 100%. So that's really important to be 100% present and to the high level in the UFC. You need that. So now we know how to do that.
And if you can just give a message to Tom, whether it's about getting back soon or about the fight, is there anything you want to say to Tom in this moment?
I got no message for Tom. I'm gonna have a message for Dana.
Okay.
The message is just let's do it. If it's possible, make it happen in Paris.
That brings us directly to Tom Aspinall. Because whether people like it or not, every major heavyweight story eventually circles back to him. For a long time, many fans viewed Aspinall as the clear favourite against almost everyone in the division, including Gane. After this performance, however, that confidence doesn't seem quite as certain. Gane's movement, striking and ability to control distance against Pereira have reminded people that stylistically, he remains one of the most difficult puzzles for any heavyweight to solve. That's why the talk of a potential rematch has become so intense. The first fight left questions unanswered. The eye injury created controversy. Fans never got the clean ending they wanted. Now, with Gane carrying the momentum of arguably the biggest win of his career, the rematch suddenly feels bigger than ever. For Pereira, meanwhile, the focus becomes recovery and reassessment.
So you will not appeal this result? You're not trying to change the result?
Você não vai apelar o resultado, não vai tentar mudar?
Não, para mim não faz sentido. Para mim não faz sentido. Tá lá, se ele se sente campeão, ok.
It doesn't make sense to appeal. If he feels the champ, let him be the champ. Just gonna add from the previous answer. Also, he said that things happen to him and he always come back stronger from bad results.
Onde eu quero é minha revanche. É isso que eu quero. Esse é meu foco. Manter no peso pesado, ter a minha revanche, minha oportunidade e mostrar que eu posso vencer esse cara, entendeu? Jogando limpo, né? Ser profissional, é isso que as pessoas querem ver, entendeu? Eles não querem ver trapaça, entendeu?
All that I want is a rematch. To be able to fight fair, to fight square, to fight clean, to go over there and show people. That's what people want to see.
Back to both fighters, I'm talking about Gane and Pereira. Amazing fight. Okay, so let's get into it with this rule. Okay, the rule we're talking about is the back of the head, and that's confusing because it's different than boxing. And the way we enforce this rule is we focus on the nape of the neck, and that's really what the rule should be called. The nape of the neck or occipital junction also covers the spine, and it covers a line right here with 1 inch variance to either side. So right here. So this is what we go over in a rules meeting. I will let them know that this area is a foul, off limits, that this area is a fair blow. Here is a fair blow. Turn to the side so we can see it here. Here is a fair blow.
One loss doesn't erase everything he's accomplished, and one difficult night certainly doesn't erase his status as one of the biggest stars in the sport. What it does do is create questions. Questions about future matchups. Questions about where he goes from here. Questions about whether heavyweight is truly the division where he'll do his best work moving forward.
No, he's not.
He's not done.
Let's go! Go!
Alex will catch him.
He'll catch him. Watch this. Watch this. Bro, those are some shots though. Oh my God. You can't put... It's... Come on, Alex. Come on, Alex. No, let him recover. Let him recover. He's not recovered yet. Hey man, Cyryl's no slouch, but bro, dare to be great. He's like one of one. He's a great.
If Aspinall is gonna just retire and go away, then I wanted Pereira to win. But the more I thought about, Ciryl Gane being an athlete, man, he's lean and his fight IQ's real high, and that style matchup's just not very good because Ciryl Gane throws straight punches. Pereira gained a little too much weight. I felt like the 251's a little too heavy. He has a big frame to carry it, but you don't want you want to stay light. Yeah, there's a few scenarios playing in my head, and so, yeah, if Pereira wants to fight, I know he likes to stay active. I'm willing to give him a fight. I've been calling him out. I'll still call him out. I still want that fight. I think he is great, but I am the best right now. Ciryl Gane proved that he's better than him, and so I think they're gonna fight. Ciryl Gane and Aspinall, and so we'll see what happens. But if I know Pereira wants to stay active, so I want to stay active as well.
That's why Joe Rogan and so many others have been discussing the aftermath of this fight. The damage to Pereira's face may have captured headlines, but the bigger story is what the fight revealed about the heavyweight division itself. Ciryl Gane proved he's still one of the most dangerous men in the sport.
Why is the guy who's getting fouled the victim on both sides, on the losing end and on the side where you can't do anything about it in terms of getting it reversed? It's just
100%.
It's unfortunate. Ciryl Gane's one of those guys you can't afford to get hurt with him because you don't know what you're gonna get hit with. you don't know what that dude's gonna hit you with. Elbows, eye pokes, hammer fists. Hey,
in that sequence, Herb Dean was just starts counting the illegal strikes. Hey, illegal. By the time the third illegal comes up, you have to be like, okay, dude, stop, reset. I know he's hurt. I don't care. You cannot try to finish the fight with strictly illegal blows. It's just very frustrating as a fan to watch, man. I'm like, dude, you already had him hurt. You have him on ice skates. Can't we just do this the right way?
Did you watch that clip with Adrian Broner and Arman Saryukian? When he's showing him, he's like,
yo,
back in the head, bow, back in the head.
We had a video of Izzy showing love to Pereira before the fight. There's a great video of him after the fight, watching it from his YouTube channel that I do suggest you all check out, Freestyle Bender, where you could tell, I don't think we could play, we can show the B-roll, there's music, but you could tell the genuine pain that he has for Pereira. And who could have expected this, right? These guys had a history in kickboxing. Izzy was somewhat dismissive of him when he comes over to the UFC. This is genuine love. This is not fake. He's rooting for his guy. He shows love to Gane. I think someone off camera, maybe his brother, is talking about the shots to the back of the head. But he is genuinely sad for his friend here. Look at that. Great stuff. Great just to see the mutual admiration that they have. Same with Rob. Izzy has come a long way in that regard, and I love to see it. Here's Alex Pereira. This just came in, actually saying that he thinks that he was hit in the back of the head
as well, right? That doesn't make it any more palatable for the audience if they're in that way of thinking. You know what I mean? And again, I said yesterday, he's talking about. I said this to the referee beforehand. There is footage of Andy Aspinall saying it to Jason Herzog before the fight about the back of the head, even though that wasn't the issue against Aspinall.
There's also footage of Jones, I believe, in the build-up to their fight, acknowledging this, this reputation. But when I was watching that live, I was like, there's a lot here. And by the way,
text you straight away about it.
Yeah, there is a precedent. Say what you will about Steve Mazzagatti. He did stop Brock Lesnar mid-fight. There was also the elbow from Jones. Just because a fight is flowing in one person's direction doesn't mean you can't stop the action if illegal shots are being landed.
Tom Aspinall suddenly has an even bigger challenge potentially waiting for him, and Alex Pereira now finds himself at one of the most important crossroads of his entire career. And judging by the reaction throughout the MMA world, the debate surrounding all three men is only just getting started.